Hello, this is David Bach, and I wanted to share with you a tool that I put together to hopefully help you to be able to be a little more efficient with your assessment that you're doing for the Informal Decoding Inventory, or IDI, with your class. That can sometimes be tedious with doing it manually, so I put this together. And the first sheet that you'll see here shows the entire class. There are enough spaces on here for 25 students. Now, I filled in the information for the first 3, but you see it goes across to 25. But you don't actually put in the information on this form. It's automatically filled in when you select the individual student sheets down here at the bottom, and they correspond with the numbered columns up here. Now, you'll also notice that each of these columns has 2 columns below it. Those are for the real words and the nonsense words for each of the word types that are in the IDI. Now, you can put your name here. You can click on that block and type your name there so that when you print it out later, it's available. But the first thing you're going to do with your students is print out the word list. This is best done with a portrait level. And that way you have both the part 1 and part 2 words of each type with real words and nonsense words available for the student to read in front of them. Then the next thing you would need to do, now I already filled in the first 3 students, so I'm going to go to the 4th student and I'm going to put in the date. I'm going to double click there, select the date, and then I'm going to click on the number 4 there and replace that with the student's initials. I'm just making something up here. And then I'm going to click under the first real word. I'll put a finger on the number 1 and my other hand on the arrow keys, which is what I recommend. And as a student reads the words, I'm going to put a 1 in each blank and move across the screen. I'll skip words that they read incorrectly, and you'll notice that on the right column, the numbers are automatically being calculated for the sum for that row. And I'll do this for the nonsense words as well. And it's also calculating. I'll go ahead and do this for a couple more rows. And then I'll have the student read those nonsense words. Okay, now I'm going to stop at 4 of the rows so that we can talk about the color coding real quickly. Notice that for these short vowels, the real words had a 7 and the nonsense words also had a 7, but they're different colors. Well, that corresponds with the rubric that you can find on the tab here at the bottom. And for short vowels, a 7, it falls into the review category, but for nonsense words, it falls into the mastery category. So that's pretty straightforward. And that follows for this rubric throughout the entire assessment. Now, if I go back to the recording sheet, as I mentioned before, you don't have to put in this information. It automatically transferred over. Now, I only did those first 4 rows, so I had real words and the nonsense words for the short vowels and the consonant blends and digraphs for this student DR. Now, if I want to print out that information for that specific student, I can go back here to this number 4 tab at the bottom and select print. And in this case, you'll want it to be landscape. And it prints out nicely. I have it spaced out so that the part 1 is on one page, and then you can scroll down and the part 2 should print out on the second page. On both of them, it has the date and it's got the student's name or initials if you need to have that some kind of data in their folder. And you can go back and you can print out your entire class to put students into groups for intervention. So hopefully that will make things a little bit easier for you. And as you periodically do more assessments for your entire class, you can make a copy of the entire document and put a date in the name so that you have those successive documents. So, hey, I hope this helps. Again, my name is David Bach, and if you want to contact me if you have any questions, please feel free to do so.